Subaru forgot everything, his loved ones, the great things he did, even the tough experiences that turned him into the person everyone trusts with their lives today. But somehow, he never forgot how to be Subaru. For most of Season 4 Part 1, Subaru believed Natsuki Subaru was someone he had to catch up to, a version of himself built from memories he no longer had. So if those experiences were gone, could he really still make the choices that made Subaru who he is? Season 4 Part 2 finally gives us the answer, and somehow the person who proves it best is Meili, the girl who already murdered him once. Because Subaru's response to her doesn't just prove that his compassion survived without his memories, it proves that being Natsuki Subaru was always something he chose. More importantly, he gives Meili that same chance to choose who she becomes instead of letting her memories decide for her. If you're interested in more ReZero breakdowns like this, be sure to subscribe because I'll be covering Part 2 weekly. Part 1 forced us to ask who Subaru is without his memories. Part 2 begins by showing us what he chooses to do without them. Subaru's first step toward embracing himself as Natsuki Subaru is choosing to move forward without waiting for his memories to return. Even after losing almost everything connecting him to this mission, Subaru still wants to see it through. Gots to see it through, my boy. And that matters, because for most of Part 1, moving forward was exactly what he couldn't do. I mean, who can blame him? Everyone around him remembered this insanely cool version of Natsuki Subaru, a guy who survived impossible situations and built strong relationships, earning the kind of trust people would stake their lives on. Meanwhile, Subaru couldn't remember any of it, so naturally, he thought he had to somehow catch up to this guy, which is a pretty impossible standard to reach when you don't even remember becoming him. But Part 2 shows us that Subaru has finally stopped waiting around for an answer. There is no old Subaru coming back to take over, there's just him. So instead of treating the Watchtower like this other hero's responsibility, he chooses to see the mission through himself. And that's the first real proof of what Part 1's ending taught him. Subaru was never defined by remembering every choice that made him who he is. He was defined by continuing to make those same choices. And we see that almost immediately with Betty. He doesn't remember their relationship, but being around her still makes him feel safe. He still hugs her like Subaru would, completely breaks down and lets himself be vulnerable. He doesn't need to remember becoming Natsuki Subaru anymore, because every choice he makes proves something much simpler. He already is him. Now, continuing Subaru's mission is only the beginning, but making the same kind of choices that define Subaru when faced with the girl who murdered him, that's the real test. Subaru proves that his compassion was never trapped inside his memories when he chooses to understand Meili instead of defining her by the fact that she murdered him. Let's be real. Turns out Meili was the one who pushed Subaru down the stairs, and that's not ideal. When she tries to murder him again, this time around Subaru stops her. Instead of instantly losing his mind, he starts asking why. He realizes that killing him wasn't some evil master plan. It was pure impulse. Murder had basically become a habit for Meili. See what I did there? It was the only way she knew how to deal with a problem she didn't understand. This is what I meant by the real test. Continuing the Watchtower mission is one thing. Choosing compassion for someone who literally murdered you is a whole nother thing. Subaru has every reason to push Meili down those stairs, to treat her as the girl who has tried to kill me on multiple occasions. But he doesn't. He separates what Meili did from why she became someone capable of doing it. That is actually what's important. And once we learn just how much Elsa shaped her, it makes sense. Meili copied the way Elsa worked, spoke, and dressed. Basically everything. She was Elsa's mini-me. That gives Meili the exact opposite problem Subaru has. Subaru forgot the memories that shaped him. Meili can't escape the memories that shaped her. Subaru wondered, without my memories, how could I possibly be Natsuki Subaru? Meili is thinking, with these memories, how could I possibly be anything else? And of course, Subaru of all people understands that. Faced with a choice his memories can't make for him, he chooses the same compassion that always defined him. But above all, he realizes Meili can choose too. But knowing Meili can become someone different isn't enough. She has to believe she actually deserves that chance. Subaru proves the power of choice by refusing to let Meili's past become the final decision about who she gets to be. After refusing to accept that anybody could ever understand her, Meili does the only thing she knows how. She yet again tries to solve the problem with murder. Only this time, the person she tries to murder is herself. And Subaru jumps after her. Bro, this girl tried to murder you not once, not twice, but 3 different times. But when Meili questions why he keeps trying to help her, Subaru tells Meili that losing her would just become one more thing he's already lost alongside his memories. How wholesome. Gee, I guess we would miss our murderous little sister. And that's where this becomes bigger than proving Subaru can still be Subaru. Because now he isn't just choosing who he becomes. He's protecting Meili's ability to choose who she becomes too. Everything in Meili's life taught her one way to deal with problems. Elsa taught her how to do normal things like talking to other people and dressing herself, but unfortunately also how to murder. So when everything becomes too much, she falls back on what she knows best. It's human nature to fall back on what you know when the going gets tough. By jumping, Meili almost accepts everything those memories made her into as proof that this is simply who she is. Subaru, he refuses to let her. And honestly, who better than Subaru? The ending of part 1 taught him that forgetting your past doesn't determine who you become next. Now Meili has to learn the other side. Remembering your past doesn't determine who you become next either. As terrible as the choices Meili has already made are, she can still make the next one. And nothing proves Subaru really is Natsuki Subaru better than that. He can't remember learning this kind of compassion. It is something he chooses to do again and again. Subaru proves the power of choice, not just by choosing who he becomes, but by giving Meili the chance to choose who she becomes too. That's why this episode hits so hard. Subaru doesn't need his memories to prove who he is. Every choice he makes does that for him. And that isn't even the most beautiful part. After spending so much time scared out of his mind that his own past had disappeared, Subaru becomes the person who shows Meili that her past doesn't have to control her either. He chooses compassion. He chooses to keep moving forward, and by doing that, he gives Meili the chance to make her own choice too. That is how Subaru forgot everything except how to be Subaru. If you made it to the end, thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you think of ReZero Season 4 Episode 12 or Season 4 Part 2 Episode 1 in the comment section below. Also, it would mean a lot to me if you leave a like, share this video with a friend, and subscribe for more ReZero videos like this.